YouTube too. So anyway, better than your average, of course, is the channel and the movement. How did we get here is the show, and this is just again our little lives we're going to hit y'all with real quick, man. Sipping on my green tea. Dark over here on YouTube or whatever. But we wanted to ask y'all real quick. What's up, Thomas? Me and Schemes were talking about when you first meet a guy, meet him, he's attractive. You know, he's got that look that you like, presentable the way that you like, stuff like that. What are the qualities that you look for in a man? Simple question. What are the qualities that women look for in men? We've been looking at a lot of stuff, and I'm even seeing that we got some women that are at the point where I've seen some stuff with women there, guys are, they're incarcerated, are dancing and all kind of stuff on because they got phones and stuff in there. I'm not knocking the hustle, but I mean, women are paying men that are incarcerated, sending them bread. So the question popped in the head. What do women actually look for? Hello, Elizabeth Carter, my dear wife.
My man had the joint where women was talking about all the good guys are locked up.
Right. And we just looked at
your mediocre tour.
Shout out to Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. A lot of these guys are bringing up some of these things. But what do you really look for? Yo, what up, Earl? I think it's something that we need to talk about in the community and come to an understanding, because I think a lot of times the ideas that men and women have are like totally, they're polar opposites. And I see often, what up, Brian? I see you, baby. Love you, man. Skin, can you put that? Because the YouTube is like, I'm dark skinned. So it's going to be super dark. I don't care, but I care a little bit, y'all. I care, but I don't care. But, so I want to talk about it. What do women in general, what are you looking for? I've, in some of my experiences, and here's another thing. Thank you, brother. We talk in generality, of course, but I've seen some cases where women are looking for things that don't lend themselves to show that a man has great character. And I think that's a challenge. That's going to present you a challenge as you're formulating these relationships and their schemes. And I always talk about being intentional in these relationships. Character, morality, things of that nature are going to be those kind of cornerstones and building blocks and the foundation of your relationship that you want to build on. Of course, initial attraction, I'm not saying, not to have that, but going forward after that, what are you looking for? So ladies, we want to hear what you have to say. What do you look for? Give us a top 3, 4, 5 things that you're looking for. What are your prerequisites in your relationships? Because I think one thing that you could do to evaluate yourself is if you found that you look for things that are not leaning towards morals and principles and character, what is your success rate been? I think that'll be a telltale sign, is that if you haven't been successful in relationships, you need to go back to your selection process and those kinds of things that you're looking for initially. Schemes, what you got, brother?
I guess the first question you would ask, what would you want the foundation of your relationship to be?
Boom.
What is that? If you have to pick one thing,
yep.
What is the initial building block?
Yep.
Building block.
Yep.
So I think from there, depending on how you start the building, is going to determine the outcome and the structure of that relationship. Absolutely. And the strength of it.
Absolutely.
Because when you start looking at materialistic things, understand that house, the return invest is basically like a mobile home.
Okay, say more.
They tell you never buy a mobile home because a mobile home is like a car. The second you buy it, the value of it
Goes down.
is cut down in half.
Yep.
So it's kind of the same thing with the relationships. If you're finding a relationship, you're building one that actually is solid, the appreciation of it is it can't help but to go up.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But when when the first thing that you're looking for is swag,
yep, whatever they love you,
contrast to character, or contrast to being 100% unapologetically loved.
Oh, go back. Say that one more time.
You want to be 100% unapologetically loved. Okay. If that's not the initial building block, and you're looking at the bag, swag, what he can buy, and other things like that, you're starting the building process completely wrong.
Okay, I like that. So, you know, and we don't want to just again, I do want to hear from a lot of the single ladies out there. You know, what difficulties have you found? Because again, a big part of this this platform, this channel, what we're trying to build again is communication. A lot of what we see out here today, even in the what they call the quote unquote manosphere and stuff, while they try to put out information and stuff like that, a lot of times you see that the messages get all jacked up. Well, and it's just people debating, you know, without actually trying to understand. But go ahead.
Well, also, as we try to, you know, be the conduit between the men and women, we can ask the same thing for men. Absolutely. What is it that you found women have wanted from you or expected from you,
right,
during your dating process? Because there's a reason why you're still single, as well as her. So the initial process or thought of what the other person want, we're already finding out that it's not working. That it's already being crosshair because neither parties actually came together.
Well, Mika, give us one. Mika said, "I can't type my issues fast enough, bro." Can you give us one common thread that you have found has reared its ugly head in the majority of failed relationships that you've had? Wifey saying invite to join the live. Mika, do you want to get on the live? I know everybody ain't comfortable, but you know, we'd love to have your thoughts. But I'll say this is for me. Let me use myself for example. With Liz and I in our relationship, I've shared before. She talking about laughing like, oh Lord. For me, she said she can. Okay, cool. I'm gonna try to have you come in, but just real quick, for me, again, while I did see that she was this, you know, is she Asian? I don't know what the heck she was. I didn't care, but you know, I was like, you know, she was attractive. She has some things happen that I like, but what was set the relationship apart was when I saw those quote unquote intangible things about her character and how she actually was devoted and cared about me is what actually took our relationship to the next level. And I saw that she had wifey potential already. You know, our biggest hurdle was communication. What up, Dave? That was our biggest hurdle. But she had all of those things where she was devoted in me. She always took care of me when I needed things. You know, again, the story I always tell, when my car was down, that chick would drive to the next neighboring city to get me and all those kinds of things. It got to a point with Liz, as far as how about me she was, I had to stop myself from even mentioning certain things. Hey, I was thinking about getting this, or I was thinking about that, because she would come up with it. But she was just not, and I'm not like a material guy like that. Y'all didn't know me, you know what I'm saying? But it was just those things. Her heart was for me so much that by doing those things and showing that love to me, you know, that she felt good about doing those kinds of things. And that's what the foundation of our relationship was built on, that stuff. Again, I said it once, I said it twice, I say it a million times. She's the person I want to do everything or nothing with. Let me see if I can get how do I? Oh, wait, I did this before. Here we go. Let's see. There she is. All right, Mika. Yeah, I'm over here on the snot nose Roscoe a little bit, but it's all good, baby. We live and direct. There she is. Oh, hallelujah.
Oh my God.
Hey, pretty lady.
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm gonna get your wife.
Thank you. You are so dope, y'all. This is another extended family member that I have known since I was a baby. And
Right?
you know what I'm saying? But I want to get some of your thoughts. You know, you've been in the dating game for a while. What can you tell us about your experience? Because again, our idea is that, not saying you, but I know that there is a faction of women where I think that they're selecting just so wrong and then wondering why it's not turning out a certain way. But first of all, what is some of the things that Mika is looking for initially in a man?
What I'm looking for initially is, man, just somebody who's ready to grow and be on my level as far as forming a unity. You know, it's a lot of guys out here, it's for me, that I have ran into. They say one thing, they say all the right things in the beginning, but then their actions don't meet up with their words.
Mm-hmm.
Or for me, I don't know if it's because, you know, I've been single for a while, single mom, but
Right.
I feel like, you know, because I have a career, you know, now I'm a homeowner,
Mm-hmm.
and I have all these things, I feel some guys get intimidated by that, which they shouldn't.
Right.
And I'm a natural caretaker. You know, I took care of my parents before they both passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just that natural nurturer. And so anyone that I'm around, I'm always like, hey, what can I do for you? Mm-hmm. Or what do you need? Those type of things. So what I just find for me, I think I probably do that too fast.
So what makes you think that a man is intimidated by your success in, you know, as far as your career?
I feel as though some of them, and I'm just speaking about the men that I have met.
Okay.
And just speaking with some of the guys who I call like my brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They say, well, Tamika, you know, you don't need nobody for nothing. You know, most men want to feel needed.
Okay.
Which is true. I don't really. I would just say this: if I had to do it on my own, I would, because I currently am doing it on my own. Mm-hmm. But when people say that to me, I kind of get offended, because I'm like, I do need a man. Okay. I need a man to be that masculine person in my life. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to always have to be the strong one or the one who has to make the big decisions. Mm-hmm. And those type of things. So I think for me, I may come off as so strong and that I have it all together and I don't need someone. Mm-hmm. But that's really not the reality of it.
So how could you, in what ways do you think that you have shown that you a man in a relationship that you need him? In what ways do you think that you may not have shown him that you need him?
That's a good question, Jay. I don't know if I've ever shown anyone that I do need them.
Right.
I've just been me, which is a caretaker. So, like you were saying about Liz, you know, very observant of things that he liked.
Right.
Making sure he ate for the day. You know, how was work? Or you want dinner? I cooked. You know, those type of things. And so, I find that I give so much of Tamika that I don't realize that this person is not pouring back into me. And then when I say something about it, then they get like this attitude. Or then I see the real them then comes out. And so then I find that this wasn't the person for me in the first place.
Right. So go ahead, Skin.
Question: are you giving them the opportunity?
I'm going to get my nuggets real quick. Hold on. Skin's got a question.
Is because you're saying that you are a nurturer as well as you're independent, is the opportunity for them to reciprocate that being given before you come to the conclusion of, hey, I'm doing so much and you're not pouring into me the same way? Because the cup is already, if the cup is 99% filled, I have nothing to pour in.
Right. And I think that's what some of my brothers were telling me. I didn't understand what he was saying at first when he said, Tamika, you know, a man wants to feel needed. A man wants to feel like he has a place, and because you do everything, he doesn't feel that he has a place to be with. And I couldn't understand that, but with you saying it like that, it makes sense.
Absolutely, because
I can say I probably have never given anybody the opportunity to do so.
Right, you have to make space for me to actually do it.
Yeah. So if you're constantly doing it all,
like, okay,
what is there for me to do?
You see, I'm just like,
and then if you've done it all, how can you be mad at me that I have nothing to do?
You've been doing it.
Then I'm just doing busy work just for the sake of doing something when I'm basically on a treadmill going nowhere because you did it all.
Yep. I'm just sitting here on the sidelines waiting for this chick to say, you know what I'm saying? So it's the gift and the curse of, it's a beautiful thing that you're an independent woman that can take care of her business, right? But in the relationship process, again, I have to make that side of me available. You know what I'm saying? I have to open the door. The dude sitting there like trying to get in, but that door locked. It's locked. And then you like, well, don't nobody come in this door. And they like, hey, hello? Hey, Tamika. So yeah, you know, that's what it is. And that's why at the beginning, I always say this too, is that for both men and women, we have to make the beginning of relationships harder. Oftentimes we make the beginning extremely easy.
Well, as they say, do what you have to do today so you don't have to do it
tomorrow, right? So you put in the heavy lifting to the best of your ability now. And again, and it's with balance, Tamika. And that's what the thing about relationships is, that you're always trying to find the balance of the situation, because there is a part of you where you do want to be guarded, but not so guarded that I can't find out what's really going on between us. You know what I'm saying? But what we do is typically we have the initial attraction. Initial attraction leads us to hanging out. The bedroom, okay, leave your toothbrush over here. You got a couple button ups and your slides is over here, and your boxer briefs are over here. But then
we go back and talk about what we want.
Then we go back and try to do the heavy lifting, but it's like I'm already up in here like this. This is who, okay, you know what I'm saying?
My drawers are on the floor.
Yes, you see what I'm saying? The drawers on the floor, the dog know me, you know what I'm saying? He don't trip when I come in the house no more. So that's the kind of stuff. But again, independent woman, and what I do appreciate about what you said though is that you do want to have that masculine energy, because I think to this day and age, unfortunately, our opinion is that we try to mix that there's no difference between the masculine and feminine, but that's false. That's false. There's a difference between men and women.
And see, you know, my parents, I was raised in a 2-parent home, so I know what it's like to have a mother and a father. And, you know, it was all girls.
Yep.
So I was raised in the house. My dad, we didn't touch the trash.
Right.
I'm doing all kinds of stuff in my own house. My daddy didn't allow me to do.
Right.
Where is he at? Because this is not what I'm supposed to be doing per my daddy, you know?
Right.
But it is so needed. And I really, you know, applaud the independent women out there and the ones of us who are doing what we can do and what we need to do and getting it done.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, I don't care what woman, who you are. At the end of the day, you need a man.
Okay, I agree.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, and again, here's the thing. We need y'all. Y'all need if you're an independent man or woman and you're saying that I'm independent and I'm cool, okay. Beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Stay independent, do your thing. You know, I don't need it.
But that's unfortunate. That's like you're saying. Some people wear it as a badge of honor.
Right.
That I'm independent, that I'm doing all this, that I don't need you, but then complain.
Right.
You're not on my level. You're telling me that you don't need me. You're wearing it as a badge of honor, talking about how independent you are, that you don't need anybody, but yet and still complain when you can't find it.
Indeed. So, okay. Well, Mika, I appreciate you jumping on with us real quick, my dear. Do you have any parting shots for the ladies out there?
We need to plug some.
Oh, well, first of all, shout out your business.
Don't throw out shame to throw your plug in.
Shout out your business.
Rain Sweet Treat.
Yes, she's a masterful.
That's what I'm doing. All good. Cooking and baking. What?
She's a masterful baker. My favorite is her red velvet. It makes molto bene.
Give them your site.
So what's your Instagram? Tell them. Not this one.
Sweet Treat on IG as well as on Facebook.
Okay, cool. But I didn't mean to jump in. But again, any parting information or words of wisdom, encouragement for the ladies?
I've been single for a while, but I still believe that who's for me is still out there. It may just be, if you're single and you haven't ran into him yet, it just may be some things internally that you need to work on yourself. So just do some self-love, ladies. Love on yourself. Take yourself out to eat. Take yourself to the movies or whatever we can do COVID friendly.
Right.
But do those things that you want. If you want a man to buy you flowers when you at HEB, pick you up some flowers, girl. Put them on your table and love yourself.
Okay.
It'll come along.
Okay. Love for yourself. All right. We love you, girl.
Absolutely. All right. Love you too, bro.
Bye. So that was the beautiful, the talented, the independent. She cooks. Mika. Yay. I didn't get this approved from her, but brothers, feel free to slide in the DMs. Mika, I want you to give us props if your DMs go up. Don't send no crazy pics though. Just be cordial. But
PG-13.
But anyway, again, y'all, this is the community we want to build. Beautiful conversations like this where people can hop on, give their perspective, because all of the perspective matters. And that's one thing again about relationships that we're trying to build. It can't be so much that I just want to hear my own perspective all the time. I only want to hear my own from my own publicist all the time. Now I gotta want to hear other people's perspective, and that's how we build this whole thing here. Also, guys, we were talking about, are there any topics? Oh, another Mika. Shamika. What's up, sweetheart? You ain't trying to get on, are you? I know you got some. Do you got something to tell the people? Don't be shy, Mika. I know how you be sometimes. Baby girl, put the pressure on her. Dave, what you talking about, Colleen or Heights? Are you talking about Tamika's business? She can do Colleen, Harker, Heights, man. She make deliveries, the whole nine, man. I wish I had some pictures of some stuff that but she does she does wedding cakes, birthdays, she does the designs. Liz say put her on, don't ask. Let me see if she's still on here.
Run away.
Yeah, Dave, she can do Colleen Heights. I'll send you the her information, man. But yeah, this is the Colleen Harker Heights Cove area. Let me see if she responds. But what are some other topics that y'all want to discuss? Oh, she said no, I'm listening, so she didn't decline. All right. Can you she's listening. Can you give us, either if you just type it, Shamika, can you type us some of your thoughts on this matter? My wife, thank you. My wifager, as I call her, putting pressure on people. But yeah, what other topics, y'all? As we go into 2021, Skeens and I want to put out more content. We got a lot of interviews coming, some dope interviews. I'll be interviewing my third grade teacher, Miss Sullivan, who was a game changer for me. We've been able to keep a relationship here recently. I found her on Facebook, and we kind of linked back up. I got my other homeboy who is a math genius whiz teacher, Dana Harris. He'll be coming on to discuss his trek to being a math teacher, and he does a lot of online if your kids need that as well. I'll have his information. I did an interview with my mom that we may have to reshoot, unfortunately, but that'll be coming soon. I got a number of other single ladies lined up that I want to get information from, because again, Skins and I, and sometimes we'll see again that there's this narrative that men are presenting about women, but also I want to hear directly from women. You know, we do want to hear the opinion directly from real world women that are out here living it, doing it, and seeing what kinds of things that they experience. Because then once we can hear this information, process it, take it in, absorb it, then we could come together and have better relationships, and we'll be happy and making babies, and, you know, have this wonderful, tight-knit, diverse community. You know, so that's the intent, one of the intentions of what we're doing here. Let me see who else is on here. Shamika's still acting scared. It's all good. Oh, what up? My boy Deshavrick Collins. Another I got my man Chad Hurt. He's a secret agent. You won't ever see his picture, but shout out to him and my beautiful sister Kia. They have just recently had triplets. Yes, triplets. He said no more babies. I'm telling you, yes. First bang. Triplets, just like that. My man Deshavrick Collins, love to you, baby. He will be on in the next coming weeks as well. Have known this man since 5th grade in Germany, and he has a beautiful family, beautiful wife. He was a little basketball star back in the day. He's come on to have a successful military career. A beautiful family, man, and he has a story and a really just, he's a story of what dedication and perseverance and what just hard work. His parents always instilled hard work into him, and he's instilled that into his kids as well. So I think that he has a great story to share about that. He says Shamika needs to know what we're asking. Oh, Shamika. So what we were talking about, Shamika, when Shamika sees that guy that she likes, you know, I don't know what Shamika's type is, but he's your perfect type that you see. Okay. Initial meeting, initial attraction. So going forward after that, what we're trying to highlight though is the selection process of men and women. But again, for you as a woman, what are the things that you look for in a man? Because Skeens and I have found, you know, we are some little low-level counselors and stuff like that. We have found that sometimes women find disappointment in relationships, but when we go back, because we always have been taught to go back to address not the fruit, but the root. And when we go back to the inception and the beginning of the relationship, we're finding that there's probably some things in there that we let ride, and that we didn't actually look for things like morals, principles, character, stuff like that. So what we're trying to find out, again, from real world women is, in honesty, what kind of things do you look for? I have a friend that'll remain nameless, and she was honest with me. She said, Jay, I have matured now, but initially the number one thing I was looking for was, is he putting it on me? And that, you know, while it was fun at the time, it had diminishing returns in having a long lasting relationship that she was really trying to have. She recognizes that now, and she looks at things differently. But, you know, she was honest. She said that was the primary thing that I was looking for. You know, how is he putting it down? How is he in bed? You know, what does he look like? That kind of stuff. So, Shamika, Liz is still trying to put pressure on her. So anyway, y'all will be able to go back and check this out. Oh, okay. Here she go. The things I look for, that it's number one is communication is key. So you said that communication is key. Have you found that you have always put that as a priority in the beginning of the beginning of your relationships? Communication is key. That's what everybody messed with me and Liz. What took us so long to get married is that our communication. It took a long time for us to line that joint up.
Well, also more importantly, what is your style of communication?
Those are the things you have to look at,
right? As well as how effective is that has that style of communication been?
Right.
Because not all two people communicate the same way.
Right. And what you have to do, oftentimes, this is kind of off to the side, but Shamika, see, we have to dig deeper. I know she ain't gonna do it right now. She said I asked, has she always looked for that first? And she said yes, and it fails.
So then we have to address the style of communication.
So one thing that you will find, this is the same but kind of different. When we're talking about communication style, but we also can put that together with love language.
Yes.
Right. So where most of us will find difficult is that it's easy for me to love someone the way I receive love. Where the challenge comes in our relationships is that we don't love our significant other the way they receive love. Right?
Then you have the different personality types.
You know what I'm saying?
Analytical, you have so on and so forth.
So I had a homie, we were talking one time, and he was saying that his wife was saying that the only time that he's affectionate towards her is when he's trying to get some, right? And he was like, man, that ain't the truth. And I'm like, well, what ways do you show her affection? He's like, well, when we standing in the house, I go and, I'll smack her on the butt and stuff like that.
I'm still trying to get some.
Guys, again, our wives love us and it's cool. You know what I'm saying? But generally speaking, for a woman, the smack on the booty is not really just energizing her like that, to be honest, as a form of affection, right? And affection itself goes into, are you really intimate? And intimacy is not, again, just physical. Intimacy is here.
As Bishop would say, intimacy.
Into me, see? So that's what the intimacy point is about. So Shamika, we want to have an offline talk. Let me see what Vinay said. Even in long-term relationships, your styles can change. Good point. You must be willing to adapt. Great point. Vinay has been married for 62 years, her and Brandon. Another great couple. But no, what she's talking about is who I was in 2002 when Liz and I started dating is not who I am right now in 2021. And you shouldn't expect it to be. You know what I'm saying? So that's a great point. Mika said, love language is wonderful to learn your partner. I have used that, but my partner still was not receptive and didn't want to put in work. Okay. Chad said, I think you have to know your partner's love language. For sure. Again, I like to use myself as example. Jay, again, my love language is time and touch. I could do nothing. As I told you, I want to do everything or nothing with Liz. I can just lay up with her all day and be snuggled up watching Netflix or whatever, and our feet and legs wrapped up into each other and all of that kind of stuff. Her words of affirmation is huge for her. She likes, she likes, to be up on me and all on the chocolated goodness and, organic chocolate. But words of affirmation and, acts of service is big for her. And again, that's something that I still, in honesty, I have to balance, because acts of service, I'm like, God, dog, she always got some kind of project. But that acts of service, when she sees me out there cutting limbs or doing something in the yard, or just a simple little thing, she's like, babe, can you put that little thing in the ground that puts the little lights on the house and put up the Black Panther, the little thing, those are things like that. And when I notice things that she does around the house, or just different things where I can tell that she's done something that's really showing genuine care, and I acknowledge that, those are the kind of things that we have to do. But again, those two things, mine is over here, hers over here. But we have to do those things together. She over there talking about, ooh, whatever.
Also,
how do you learn? Hold on. How do you learn? Well, first of all, evaluate yourself, Shamika, and, you know, when do you feel most love when your partner does what? And the love languages are time, um, touch, acts of service, words of affirmation, and what's the fifth one?
Drawing the blank.
What's the fifth one, y'all? What's the fifth one, Vinay? We can look it up, but whatever. We got people in here looking. It's gifts. Sorry, gifts. That's what it is. It's gifts. So Shamika, again, of those, Chad, I see. Yeah, a lot of many women that I have talked with, acts of service are in there, because it goes back into, we could say it's social conditioning or whatever, but there's something about that. It's been kind of ingrained in women when they see men doing things, that's how they evaluate the man. And you know, you have to balance that, you know what I'm saying? You know, Skeens and I always talk about is that men sometimes, instead of being evaluated more so again on our character, we're evaluated on what we have and what we do. You know what I'm saying? Which can be, if it's not balanced, and again, guys, the key word is balance. If it's not in balance, it can cause issues, because a dude could come around doing a lot of things and character be terrible. Mm-hmm. He can have a lot of things and his character can be terrible. And that's kind of what we're talking about, is how to drill down and find what's that real measure of that man or woman. What do they really bring to the table?
They got a lot of money.
You know what I'm saying? So again, Shamika, again, it's do you feel love when your significant other is affirming you with words? Do you feel love when they are, you know, y'all laid up touching, physical touch? Do you feel love when they're, again, acts of service, when they're doing things, again, cutting the grass, putting up pictures, you know, whatever? Do you feel love when y'all are just spending time together? Or number 5, is it when they're buying gifts and doing those sweet little things like that for you? What makes you feel energized? What makes you feel love? So that's how you know. There's a book. It's called The 5 Love Languages, that I think is key for most couples to look at, and it helps you just, again, to evaluate, because again, it's easy for you to know you and how you receive love, but it's harder to know your significant other. So that, again, that's where we find the balance at.
Gary Chapman. Also, I think Vinay brought up a good point when she said people change.
Oh, yeah.
So as your love language change, you need to keep your mate abreast of those alterations. Because you may think the same thing. Oh, that person wants the same thing.
Right, yeah.
Or they've changed. Yep. We did an interview.
Yes.
Where she talked about,
yes.
He used to bring the same drink, and I don't want that drink no more. I like this. So when you make those changes, when you go from affirmation to touch,
right,
whatever those changes that takes place over the years, you need to keep your mate aware.
Yep.
As you continue to grow the way that they can grow with you the right way.
Yeah, and I think again, a piggyback off of that, I was talking to a friend of mine's brother over the weekend. We were sharing some things about relationships and stuff, and he was saying that oftentimes in a relationship, your interpretation, we all have our certain interpretation of what the person is giving us or saying to us, or however you want to say it. But he said one thing he always tell ladies is that if you think that I'm coming off a certain way, check for understanding or check for clarity. And oftentimes, again, in a relationship, we don't check. We just want to go off. Okay, that's what I thought that she meant. But if you're in a relationship that's healthy, you can check for understanding with each other, because this is a learning process. This another homeboy of mine puts it like this, is that we all are at varying degrees of being aliens in this world. You know what I'm saying? We talk about like Jason. He's learning things right now. He is an alien to the earth. He's only been here a year. You know what I'm saying? So his level of alien of trying to understand is like this. Mine is, you know, I'm getting ready to be 40 in a couple years. So it's, you know, I'm an alien, but not as much. But it's the journey and the process of learning this world these relationships and things like that that we're doing. What's up? What up? Jacqueline Santiago, Veronica Parker, what up? Little Crunk Juice. Veronica been married for about 40 years, 30 or 40 years. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Miss Parker. But thanks for jumping on the live. What we talking about for y'all that just jumped in is what do we look for in relationships? What are the top things that you look for? Are you looking for things that are more morals, principles, character based, or are you looking for things that are more superficial? And I think, we will all admit that when we found ourselves looking at superficial things, that we've found diminishing return on our investment. So what we're trying to do is, again, open up the dialogue. Let's be honest. Let's talk. Let's be real about some of those challenges that we had, because, the next person can learn and build from that. But we want to build a community where we are evaluating each other properly. And we're evaluating people that we're definitely going to get into a situation with, considering, because again, we're family oriented. Our belief on our platform is that we're not going to be the best version of ourselves unless we have a connected community, and as men and women that we're building healthy families and marriages, relationships, which is in turn going to help us to be able to build healthy relationships and build healthy human beings by way of our children and our legacy that we leave back. To quote my boy Kai Phoenix, one of our things that we are commissioned to do while we're here on this earth is to take what we got and advance it and leave it for the next generation better than we got it. You know what I'm saying? So this is a part of that. But yeah, I appreciate some of y'all for jumping on with us, man. It's been a cool little talk. We'll be jumping on from time to time. We were supposed to be on here just like a few minutes, but since some of y'all came on, man, it's real cool. We stayed on a little bit longer. But the video will be up on Instagram. Y'all can drop some comments. Again, we do want to hear from you guys on different topics. One of the homies reached out to me the other day. She was on a road trip and she was listening to some of the podcasts. That was cool. Shout out to the girl Issa and her husband. But she was like, Jay, I wanted to know what show that you have that's like just straight on relationships. And I was like, we didn't have like a just straight all relationship show, but we will provide that soon, so that we can discuss some of that stuff. I
think every episode is relationship.
It is. All of our shows are going to go back to relationship, but I know what she meant as far as, I think she probably meant like challenges and things like that in relationships. So we can do something, 45 minutes, an hour or so, we talk about, how to overcome challenges and stuff like that, and perseverance. I think what I'll close out with is and even talking about that is, you have to understand that in relationships, first of all, we got to eradicate this idea of fairy tales, of appreciate that, Chad, man, of riding up on the horse and all this kind of with a 6'2", Skeens is 6'2", he's lucky, but whatever, 6'2", 6-pack, 6 figures, you know what I'm saying? That's all cool, but for the most part, and it's cool, we just people that's right here in about the middle, right? And that's fine. That is fine, okay? And I think the sooner that we realize that, you'll see that there's somebody that's been right over there and right over there that you could have built a beautiful, healthy family with and had a long-lasting relationship with. Number two, challenges are going to happen in relationships, guys. They're going to happen. They're going to happen. And you have to, I always say this in dealing with work, because people say if there's a tough conversation to have, there's Jay, you all be ready to have, because it's a part of the process. Let's go ahead and have the conversation. What was you going to say though? Go ahead.
I think as we talk about that, I think probably one of the most underestimated aspect of relationship is dealing with success.
Say more.
When you have a successful relationship, there's a lot of pressure having to hold up that level of success.
Okay, gotcha. Yes, sir.
Because if not, it can become stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
You can become complacent.
Mm-hmm.
You can take for granted what you have.
Indeed.
So you have to fight harder to maintain that success. Just like when you're the champion, they say everybody's gunning for the champion.
Yeah.
So when you have that successful relationship, I think it's harder to maintain that success.
Right. Indeed.
Than to build it up.
True.
And I think that's one thing, the aspect that a lot of people kind of overlook.
Right. And again, using me and my wife, y'all know, we've been considered to be together as far as relatively young folk. We've been together a long time. But one thing is that, again, I'm the run my mouther, obviously, right? My wiferager, she's behind the scenes. She's crunching the numbers. She's making sure I got what I need. You know, that's our balance. That's our balance in our relationship. And I've shared with y'all before is that I'm always, you know, and that's one thing about me too. The gift and the curse of me is my brain is always in reflecting. And sometimes I got to turn that thing off because I got to flip the switch off. Because sometimes that's my worst enemy is I'm always thinking about stuff. But anyway, I'm sitting there with Liz and I'm like, how do you feel about our relationship? What are your aspirations and dreams? Where will we be in this? And I'm just pontificating and going on. And that chick is like over there looking, playing her game or looking at some on Amazon or ordering HEB curbside. And she'll just turn and look at me and be like, we're good. I'm fine. And she turned back. And I'm like, God dog, man. I need more, woman. I need more, woman. But I had to explain to her because, again, funny stuff about, you know, how she knows how I am. She's like, you be trying to Dr. Phil me and did it. I'm not trying to Dr. Phil you. I want to understand you and know you. You know what I'm saying? But I had to share with her, and, you know, this is, again, building that intimacy with her and trying to convey to her how much I care about our relationship is that because we have had a pretty successful relationship. You know, praises to God, you know, that our relationship is built on love, communication, and my household is, guys, it's a peaceful home. I put my hand to God. When I come in this place, I have no stress, struggle, or strain. I don't have to come home and put on I was again, you never see a boxer after he fights 3-minute rounds that when he goes into the corner that he's still boxing. No, he sits down, he gets water, he gets his shoulders massaged, he gives instructions. So when I come home after I'm out in the world doing what I have to do to, you know, try to be the best man I can and help provide for my family, I don't come home, I take my boxing gloves off. You know what I'm saying? That's a testament to my lovely wife. But all that said, in the relationship, I had to explain to Liz that I never want her to think that I'm just so cool on our successful relationship that I take her for granted. I never want to take her for granted. Because as Skeens could attest to, when we was out here in the streets running around a little bit, it's a cold game out here. And to use the terminology, anybody can get knocked. Anybody can get knocked. So it's with that, you know, I never want to take my wife for granted, ever. Ever. I never want her to feel like I don't see her and I'm not looking at her. I'm not noticing little things about her. You know, like looking at her. There's some new yoga pants you got on? Oh, yeah, I just ordered these the other day. Okay, I see you, girl. I see you. I'm going to peel them joints off later. But, you know. Anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all for jumping on, man. We love y'all. Again, YouTube, go to the channel. We was looking, man, 33%. Only 33% of our views come from people that's actually subscribed to the channel. So we got a whole 66% of people that out there are supporting us and watching the videos, but you're not subscribed. So it takes nothing to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you can get the little notifications. We're trying to get our algorithm, YouTube algorithm game up. And so go to Better Than Your Average, as you see here, and you can type that in, and we got enough videos where it'll pop up finally. You know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe, put a comment on there. Even if it's something to disagree with us, put it on there. We're not afraid to have the conversation. And we're not these guys that's built on only if you agree with me do I want to have. I want to converse with people actually that disagree with me, you know, that disagree with us. So go on there, check us out. We'll have plenty of content coming. Thanks for jumping on this live with us tonight. As always, I'm going to send y'all love, peace, and blessings. And, you know, in this current day of still going through COVID and the pandemic, we definitely are still praying God's choice blessings over you and your family. We pray that you are healed, healthy, blessed, and prosperous, and that you're successful mentally, physically, and emotionally. And we want y'all to, you know, build some great relationships. So come with us on the journey, man. But again, I'm your boy Jay Carter, and the man that's always heard and never ever seen.
That's absolutely correct.
Skis. We love y'all. We'll talk to y'all next time.
All of them. So scoop on there.